Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Bakewell Diaries. Today I'm joined by Lara Kerem, who is an illustrator, and she's actually illustrated 2 of my storybooks. I've got 2 children's storybooks, which are Cherry Bakewell Stories for My Kitchen and Cherry Bakewell Winter Fun. And she's very kindly done all the pictures on these books for me. So we're going to have a little chat to Lara today, find out how she got started, and see where we go from there. So thank you for joining us, Lara.
Oh, you're welcome. Nice to be here.
Nice to see you. Nice to actually talk to you. So how did you actually get started in drawing and illustrating?
Nothing, no particularly remarkable route, really. I mean, I've just always loved drawing. So as a young child, I'd draw and I'd copy pictures and trace pictures that I liked. And it's just something that I've kept going throughout my adulthood, despite different career paths. So yeah, it's just something I've always enjoyed.
I can see you've got a lot of my pictures behind you as well.
I have. I've got a little bit of an art wall in my
A little bit of
tiny,
everything
tiny
behind
little
you.
art room.
It's lovely.
You might see a few familiar faces up
Yes,
there.
I do. Yes.
So those are actually the originals. So those are the original watercolors and color pencil drawings.
Okay,
That you then have the digital scans of.
that's right. I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So these are
Very.
the
You certainly
original
do a
original
wide
ones.
range of things, don't you? You do sort of insects and all sorts, and buildings and all sorts of things. So
I
yeah,
do. I've got quite a sort of an eclectic range of interests myself, and I love nature and wildlife. So drawing the insects is fascinating because you can see all the tiny little bits that make them up. All the
yeah.
tiny little bits of their legs and buildings. I mean, I did consider studying architecture when I was younger. But actually, I went down the classical music route and was a professional musician.
Okay.
But architecture's always stayed with me, and I love interesting buildings from around the world, and not just how they look, but the history of them as well.
Yeah,
I love finding out who designed them, what year they were built. And there's just, I mean, the beauty of the internet and Instagram and Facebook is that you can see pictures from all around the world every day. And I
yeah,
do follow a lot of different places that have these just remarkable buildings
yeah.
that you don't see in the UK.
That's right.
Equally, there are amazing buildings here that I love to draw as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do a real mixture of things.
I'm certainly like your insects. I mean, your ladybirds that you do as well. I saw them the other day on Facebook. You put on, they're beautiful. A lot of
Oh,
detail
thank
in those.
you.
There's a lot of detail in those as well, isn't there?
There is, and I do love detail, and the same with the illustrations. So certainly when I read books, I was a teacher for many years, and now I'm a mum. So when I read books to children, I love looking at all the little hidden details in
Yeah,
pictures. So when I've illustrated for you for Cherry Bakewell, I always try and put a few little bits in the background. It might be the utensils hanging up in the kitchen,
yeah.
or little details on the clothing.
They do make a difference, all the details, don't they?
They do, and it makes you want to look into the picture, and it kind of gives you a context of the family and the story to go, hand in hand with your wonderful writing as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, it just kind of brings it all together, really.
lovely. So did you have any training or were you self-taught?
No training, just lots and lots of practice. I mean, as I say, I went down the classical music route. So actually, all my time was spent from the age of 7 with violin lessons, piano lessons, and orchestra.
Mm,
And that's what I studied at university. But I've always just drawn a bit on the side when I can.
yeah,
I read a lot of books. I follow a lot of artists. I love going to galleries and collections.
yeah,
And I love watching TV shows about art, and like the competitions and
yeah,
just learning from all those different sort of, opportunities to just broaden my mind about art. But it's all trial and error.
yeah,
I'm still learning after
yeah,
40 years. And at the moment, I'm trying to teach myself about perspective in drawing.
yeah.
So even now, I've got 2 books I'm reading. And I've been talking to a friend who studies art to get some tips, and I asked for advice online from different Facebook groups, and there's been some really helpful professional artists who have given me tips and hints. So yeah, just kind of learning as I go,
Learn as
really.
you
I don't
go,
think I ever
yeah.
stopped learning.
So, what's your inspiration when you sort of develop characters then?
I mean, it depends a bit on the text, I suppose. I obviously take a lot of inspiration from yourselves, the authors,
Yeah,
and the history and the meaning behind stories. I try to be quite inclusive in my drawings if I've got that freedom. So I like to include characters that, perhaps wear glasses,
yeah,
or different ages, children from all around the world, so that any child can look at that book and identify with a character.
yeah.
So I try to just sort of broaden that. And I also, which I don't know whether you know this, but I'll always sneak my daughter into one of the pictures as
Oh, right. No,
well.
I didn't know
I
that.
do. So in fact, in the very first Cherry Bakewell book, I think it's on my wall up here. There was a scene where they're sitting in the schoolroom,
Yeah.
listening to the teacher, and I've done my daughter with her plaits and her red school
Oh,
t-shirt on. And there's some other books where I've sneaked her in as well. So my own family and friends are inspiration as well.
yeah. Oh, lovely. I hadn't
Yeah.
noticed that, I must admit.
And it's
Lovely.
nice for her then. She sees, books that mummy's illustrated, and as
Yeah,
she gets older, she'll be able to spot herself as well. So,
yeah.
yeah. So
Because
that's a little secret that.
she's got a keen interest in drawing as well, hasn't she?
Oh, she loves drawing. We're
Yeah,
both very creative. We have a wall in our kitchen that is completely covered with her drawings and artwork. So yes, that's something we do a lot of together.
that's
She
lovely.
adores drawing. Hmm.
Following in your footsteps.
Yeah, as long as she
Yeah,
gets she needs to get a stable job as well. But yeah,
yeah,
she can be an
yeah.
artist.
So, what other projects have you actually worked on?
So I've done a few other different illustrative projects. I actually did a project for the NHS during lockdown,
Right.
and that was based the speech and language department, and they're creating books that can be used by therapists, by parents, and by
All right.
children, with speech and language challenges. And I did a whole load of sort of cartoon comical illustrations for them to use in that.
Brilliant.
um, so that was lovely. And then I've also done a series of books about a unicorn who does different jobs. And of course, the Cherry Bakewell. And other than that, mainly, I suppose what you'd call slightly more serious drawing, in that it's the buildings, it's commissions of homes and wedding venues and
Yeah.
places that are special to people. So I've got a few of those on the go at the moment. So a little bit of a mixture of things, really, which
Yeah,
is
that's a
which is
wide
what I like.
variety of things. Yeah.
It is, and I have to
Yeah.
fit that in with I work full time at a school as well, and I'm a single parent, so I have to fit my art in around all of that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Very
it's
busy
lovely
lady.
therapy. It's very mindful for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Lovely. So, we were talking about your buildings earlier on. You do a lot of intricate work on the buildings, don't you? Do you prefer doing the buildings, or do you prefer a whole wide range of topics? So I
I've
know you
always
do
been
a lot of
some
buildings, don't you?
Yeah, I do at the moment. I've always been someone who has an interest in everything. I mean, there's nothing that doesn't interest me. I love finding out. I'm constantly doing open university courses. Any information I can soak in, I take. So whether
Yeah,
that's illustration, whether that's the buildings and the history of the buildings. And when I do the buildings, I do literally draw every single brick.
I have
So
noticed. Yeah,
they they are very intricate, but I love that detail. And I think it gives you such a renewed understanding of what it
yeah,
takes to create something like that. And then with the illustrations, I still like them to be perfect. So even though
yeah,
they might not be brick based, I like there to be consistency in my drawings, that from
Yeah,
page to page, the characters look the same, the details are the same, the colours are the
yeah,
same. So even though I can be a little bit freer with my illustration in the books, and a little bit more comical, I adore doing both, and I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to sort of do that in comparison to the I don't know why I do the building sometimes. I'll start and I'll be like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can draw this,
do they take a
but
long time to
everything is
do?
a challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah, each A4 building is probably from blank page to finish about 25 hours of work.
yeah, really,
Yeah, so they can take me months because I don't have that much time to draw
yeah,
sometimes.
must have a
So
lot of
yeah, they do take a
patience.
long time. Yeah, as I say, that it's good mindfulness. I do hyper focus in on things. And I can sit when I have that time for hours. Not I forget to go and eat, I forget to get a drink. I just sit and I
Just sit and do
draw
it.
and I
Yeah,
draw. It's great therapy for me, so I really enjoy
yeah. Well, I say I like looking at all your drawings on Facebook. I'm always looking at them. It's great
it.
inspiration. It really is.
Oh, thank
um,
you.
so where do you sort of see yourself in 5 years? And have you got any other projects coming up?
At the moment, the only projects I've got are some private commissions. I've got a
Okay.
lovely little row of cottages that I'm going to be starting work on
Oh,
soon. I
lovely.
can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to start that. And I'm hoping there will be some more cherry bakewell in the
I'm sure
winter.
there will.
Uh, so I'm holding out for that as well. But I mean, at the moment, it's term time, so my normal life is just very busy. And I think 5 years time, I'd love to just still be doing all this art and to have
Yeah,
even more. I've had commissions in America, Canada. I've sent stuff to New Zealand and only little bits, but I'd love to just be able to broaden that, with the
yeah,
illustration and the more sort of commissioned sort of building type art that I do as well. Um, so yeah, just I'd like to be where I am in many ways now. I'm very fortunate. I have a lovely job. I've got my lovely daughter in our lovely home, which we've only had together for 2 years, and yeah, just to keep building up walls like this all around the house.
of all your talent.
Well, not just mine. As I say, downstairs the kitchen wall is twice this big, and it's all my daughter's work.
Oh, bless her.
So yeah, just keep having the opportunity to do this and collaborate. I love doing collaborations. So
Yeah, lovely.
anything like that, yeah,
Yeah, that's lovely. Well, thank you ever so much for joining us, Lara. That's brilliant. Um,
that's all right, no problem.
and I shall start thinking about book three. I have been having thinking some ideas of where to sort of start, but
Yeah,
it's getting that starting point, isn't it, of where to actually
oh, it
start.
is. And I love the theme you had to the second book, where it was sort of winter fun and how you went through the different seasons
Different
and the different
seasons, yeah.
festivals and
That's
celebrations.
right. That's what,
That
yeah,
was
that's
so
what
lovely.
yeah, that's what I thought.
So
'Cause it's sort of Halloween and bonfire and
yeah,
Christmas, and that's what I loved about it. It was really nice, and to actually bring it out at the end of November as well. It was the perfect time to bring the book out.
yeah, I know we did. I think we did well to meet the deadline
We did,
actually, because
we
I mean the
did. Yeah,
amount
it
you.
was.
I mean, I know the writing and the drawing takes time, but actually, I don't think people appreciate how much time it takes for you then to put that all into the digital
Well, being a
format, ready
total
for
novice,
publishing.
when I did the first one, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just did it all myself. Didn't have a clue.
Yeah,
Many an
no.
many an email to you saying, "Oh, help! I don't know what I'm doing."
Well, I mean, I've never even tried to. I mean, I've written a few books myself, which I've never gone anywhere with. I mean, talking about projects, perhaps that's something I might do in the future. But I mean, gosh, I wouldn't know where to start. So between
No,
the two of us, it's lovely that we can communicate, and
yeah,
one day we will have to meet in person.
we definitely
We're sort
will.
of opposite.
Definitely.
We're opposite ends of the
I
UK at the
know. It's
moment.
actually nice to talk to you today because it's always been by email, hasn't it? So it's actually nice
I
to talk
know
to
it
you today.
has.
Yeah, we definitely have to arrange a meeting sometime. Definitely do that.
Oh, that would be fabulous. We should meet in the middle somewhere and have a couple of lovely days out.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that'd be
And I
lovely.
say it might even give you inspiration for book three. Maybe some hot spots around the UK.
Yeah.
something like that, or
Yeah, well,
a London trip?
I've got a few ideas mulling over, but I'm just working out which
Oh,
direction to go. Just want to make sure I go the right way, you know. A
oh,
few little
oh, well, I
ideas
can't
going
wait
on.
to hear. I can't wait to hear.
It'll be later in the year because there's a lot going on at the moment. But yeah, later in the year,
Yeah.
the
Mm.
ideas are coming at the moment. So hopefully, Cherry Bakewell 3 will be on its way, and
Oh my
you'll be
gosh,
doing some more lovely illustrations for me. That would be brilliant.
I can't wait, Jane. I would absolutely
Lovely.
love to.
That's lovely.
All
Well,
right,
thanks very much for joining me, Lara. Lovely to talk to
not
you.
at all. All right, you
Lovely.
take care now.
And you take care. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.